Hey y'all, it's Adam. I'm here to report on Robin's whereabouts. She's on her way to the airport. She's going to Orlando to see her niece graduate from high school. She can't wait to get there because she and her brother are spending the day at Epcot. And later she's gonna hang out with her great-nephew, Kai. And she's excited to meet her newest great-nephew, Josiah. She's going to have a packed few days. Here you see her filming herself walking back and forth in the airport. She's going to use this for future posts. That is, if she ever starts posting again. She takes more breaks than chickens laying eggs.
Adam, that joke was corny and no need to be rude.
Whatever, Robin. Now tell us what happened in Florida.
Slow your roll, Adam. I'm going to tell the story. Hey guys, stay tuned for the story. This past weekend, I went to see my niece graduate from high school. My brother's youngest child graduate from high school. And I got a story to tell. So the name of this story is Why I Sat in the Airport for 15 Hours. Let me count the ways. Anyway, so my flight was at 6 a.m. I arrived to the airport at 4:30 a.m. Breezed through security. I have TSA pre-check. I breezed through. Flight supposed to board at 5:15 a.m. 5:15 a.m. comes a speak over the loudspeaker, says we've been delayed to 6:33 a.m. So we talking 33 minutes, no big deal. Okay. So we're like, all right, so we're delayed. So then 15 minutes later at 5:30 a.m., I get a text for a meal voucher for $12. Like, what's up? You know, maybe they doing something new, haven't flown in a while, so whatever. So not 10 minutes later, over the loudspeaker, they say, we're delayed yet again, and we're not leaving until 10 a.m. So I go up and I'm asking questions. She don't know why. They're just saying we're delayed. As soon as they find out, they'll let us know. So I asked, can we use the vouchers on the other side? She's like, no, you have to use them here. Because I'm like, I already had my breakfast. There's nothing here I really want, whatever. So I decided to sit down and eat my breakfast. So we're parting at 10. So that's 5:41, right? So, and I keep looking over here because I wrote my notes down for my times and everything, right? So at 7:44, I get another text for a second meal voucher. And I'm like, what? And then I hear people overhear people talking about how they got a $30 voucher in their email. And I check that and I see I got a $30 voucher. So, now we're like, what's going on? What's going on? At 8:02 a.m., they tell us we're departing at 4 p.m. What? So at this time, we need answers, and they give us an answer. And I'll give you the answer, but it just aggravates me even more what that answer was. But I'll tell you a little bit. I just want to tell you a little bit more of the story. So they tell us we're leaving at 4. And then 4:21 comes around, and now we get a text at 4:21 saying we're leaving at 4:20. Well, you're about late because we should have been leaving a minute ago. That we're gonna board. Then at 4:31 we're gonna board at 4:50, and at 5:23 we're gonna board at 5:05, and then the list just goes on. So I'm giving updates to my brother, and I'm giving updates to my husband, and I'm asking them. They're like, if you guys want to go home, you can go home. They already sent the airline stewardesses away. Pilots are gone. So if you want to go home. So I'm like, well, if you're leaving at 4 o'clock, is there any instance where y'all might leave early? Like if they get done early? She's like, we might. I said, well, will they give us specifics? She said, no, all they're going to do is update you. And then you just come back. So there's no way. And plus she had just said to somebody else that this happened a couple days ago. What? Happened a couple days ago, and they ended up leaving early, like at 1. So I didn't want to miss my flight. I had no other option. The only other flight was 8 p.m. that night. I wasn't doing that one. And there were no flights the next day. And like I said, I wasn't going to do that anyway because that's the day of the graduation. I want to be in the chaos. I'm not going to cause the chaos, right? So if we're moving around, everybody's getting to the bathroom, everybody's getting dressed, I'm going to be in that. But I'm not going to have somebody having to stop and come pick me up at the airport. That's not going to work, okay? So anyway, we're doing all that, and I overhear somebody say that they're getting on the West Palm Beach flight, and I'm like, I jumped to go try something else, and the lady told me to go to the checkout. The checkout, they were finishing up letting people in, and I could have got in there, but they like, you got to go downstairs. So I thought that was poor on Spirit's fault, on Spirit's side. You had a whole plane full of people that had places to be. Y'all should have had a liaison upstairs that could have booked us in on other flights, so we didn't have to go all the way downstairs. I went downstairs, which meant I have to stand in a line. There was no special line for us. We had to stand in a line that people that were coming in for later flights. And then once I got up to the line, the flight's gone. And they had no more other flights. I could have jumped on a Fort Lauderdale or West Palm Beach flight and took the Brightline or something and still got there. And I was on the phone with my brother. He didn't tell me that because, well, he was asleep. He was asleep. So it was his day off and he was asleep and I wasn't thinking. So, you know, we'll both take the blame. But anyway, I digressed. They should have had somebody upstairs to reroute us on other flights. They could have had somebody up say, I got 5 seats on West Palm Beach, first come, first serve. You know, something like that. They could, but they didn't. They failed. They failed us. So anyway, I had to go downstairs, get in the line, just for them to tell me they have nothing. They have nothing in Philly. And then American Airlines, $7.59, all these high prices. It's a holiday weekend, so you should know that. So I go back through the TSA for the second time because I'm resolved that I'm just going to sit there and just wait, right? I get there and my luggage goes through and my luggage gets flagged this time. It didn't get flagged the first time, but it gets flagged this time. It gets flagged this time because I had water in my bottle. You know, when I went upstairs after I made it through the line first time, I get my water to take my medicine that I have to take before I fly. And I forgot to dump it. So now he's like, we can throw it away. I'm like, I can't drink it? He's like, no. Like, what? So just so you guys know, for at least Atlantic City, you know, when you go to put your stuff in the buckets and the things to take it through the belt, before it goes through the belt, at that point, you have a choice to chuck it or drink it. Once it goes through the x-ray and you're back here, you only have the choice but to chuck it. And he said, you're just a little bit over. Well, why can't I drink it? Then he goes to escort me out so I can dump it. I'm thinking he gonna let me come back in with him. No, I gotta go through TSA for the third time. Like, are you serious? Anyway, that could have been handled better as well. But listen, I'm going to stop here for part 1 of why I sat in the airport for 15 hours. Let me count the ways. And I want to ask you a question. What's the longest time you've sat in the airport? And I'll be back with part 2.